Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of The Beading Table with your hosts, Leith and Tekaronhiahkwa Stand-Up. Tekaronhiahkwa, how are you doing over there in chilly Kahnawake? I hear there's lots of snow on this early April.
Yes, we got like a little blast of snow yesterday. But I'm good. It seems to be melting and
really?
Hopefully spring's coming soon. Yeah. Sorry if I keep coughing on you guys. I have some kind of little tickle going on here and I'm not sick. I'm not going to give you no sickness over the airwaves. No.
You're not allergic to your new puppy?
I hope. Well, no, I don't think so. I think she does here and there. I get a little tickle from her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not major, not a big deal. But yeah. So that's kind of new in my life. We have a new puppy.
And what kind of puppy is it?
She is a pit bull Catahoula mix. Everyone, every time I say Catahoula, everyone's like, "What? What the heck's a Catahoula thing?" So yeah, it's like, actually, I don't even know really what it is. It's almost like a hunting type of dog. It's like a game dog kind of thing. Yeah, so look them up. They're really beautiful dogs. But she is mixed. So the mother was full pit bull, the father is half and half pit bull and this Catahoula. So she gets all like her little spots and everything, her coloring from the that line of her family. But oh my God, she is so sweet. She's a really good puppy. I wish she would stop pissing and shitting all over my floors, but we're in training right now, so it's kind of like having a brand new infant again. So yeah, we've been pretty busy with her, but things are going good.
And what's her name?
Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, a little Willow. She's so cute.
And how's the other dog and the ferret dealing with her?
The other dog is good. Georgia is really good with her. She's kind of like the guide dog, I want to say. Like she brings her around and she plays with her. And when she has enough, she goes and she hides. All of a sudden now she can jump on my bed. And for the past 2 years, she's been making us pick her up and put her on. Now to get away from the puppy, she just jumps. I'm like, you lazy ass. But she's doing really good with her. I was a bit nervous. I didn't know how she was going to react to her. I am still not nervous, but I'm like, I gotta watch because this puppy is like almost her size now, and she's only 10 weeks today. So she's gonna get a lot bigger. So we'll have to just see how that all goes.
Like a roly-poly, kind of like how they look, like short and stocky. Like is that?
Yeah. And she was the smallest in the litter. It was a really big litter. There was I think 7 or 8 puppies. And there were 2 that were like on the smaller end. So that's the one we decided to kind of look at, and we got her. The previous owners think she might get about 50-60 pounds, whereas the other one's like, that's a big dog still, but the males could get like 80 to 90 pounds. They were pretty big. Yeah, so she's really good though. Just riding the waves and enjoying it. She did her first puppy class last night in the city.
Yeah, I saw that you posted.
Yeah, so that was fun. It's something different and interesting, and it's one of those things because she's a pit bull and she already has like that stigma on the breed and everything.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're doing our part and learning what we can to be able to train her and like be accountable for our animal. So I don't want her attacking people and stuff or being scared or whatever. So yeah, so we're doing that, which was pretty fun.
Being proactive.
Yeah, trying. And you, how's it going? It's like we haven't seen each other in a million years.
I know. I guess the last time we actually spoke in person, I think was before March break, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because you went away, I went back, and then I came here and you weren't back yet. And then we hadn't taped since then. And we didn't tape after March break because we would have taped during March, and we missed a month. Everybody, for our regular listeners, we're sorry to leave you in the winter, the last end of winter, but there was lots going on. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. I'm nearing, I guess, maybe a month and a half until my show here at Western and my exhibit, and so I'm trying to really flush out all of my stuff, and I'm going into Europe next week. On
Oh
Friday. In 1
my
week, I leave
God.
for Europe. Like, how crazy is that?
That is crazy. I totally forgot that you were doing that, and it came so fast. Like, even like your whole everything, it's like you're getting close
It's
to the
already
end.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
crazy.
8 months has gone by crazy. But yeah, so I have, like, I did all of my last bit of making my arrangements for my travels. So that's really good. And I'm going to try to do all kinds of things. And hopefully I get to do all the stuff I want to do. And hopefully, well, my friend Terry Thomas is coming too.
Oh, cool. Good for you
Towards
guys.
the latter part of the trip.
Yep.
So hopefully, well, I guess by the time this airs, maybe I'll be on the trip or it'll be after. But she's going to meet me in Paris. So we're going to do a couple days in Paris, and then we're going to both do a couple days in the Netherlands when I go to look at my, not mine, at some collections of some museums. So that's pretty cool. But I'm just excited. And yeah, and it's a daunting task to try to figure out like how I'm going to get all the work I got to get done before my show. And then for the graduations, like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought, I had lots of time. And I ran into a lady yesterday. There's a grad student here, and I passed in the hallway. She's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm trying to like get this thing done." And she's like, "I remember." I remember what? She said, "Oh, I remember seeing you like in the beginning of the year, and you said, man, there's so much time to get the project done." And now I'm like,
no, you're like, oh my God, I need more time.
yeah. But
I hear you.
It's going really well. Like yesterday, I went into the wood shop and I drilled my holes for my sinew into my board, which was one of, aside from doing the handle, it seems like it's a really easy task, right? Like you just drill it in. But once you put those holes, it's like set, like if you make a mistake, then you have to make a whole new board.
Everything.
And luckily, I'm not like painting or really carving anything really elaborate. So, I mean, I can imagine if you were doing something like that and you made a mistake and you had to start over again. But so I didn't want to do it. I think that's what it was. It was just the fear of making a mistake and having to pay the price later on, which then led me to not do it right away when I should have. But so I did that. And I went last night and I chip carved. Well, I was doing chip carving. So I chip carved the board and it looks really good. And so next week, I believe I'll be putting my sinew on.
Oh my God.
And so it'll be like that. Yeah. I'll be really close and I might stain and just do things. So so that's part of my project. I don't think I ever said I was making a cradle board on the show. So I guess I just said it now, but yeah.
Cat's
so
out of the bag. No.
Yeah, I'm making a cradle board, but yeah. So there's that and just all kinds of other things. I'm taking a silversmithing, well, not silversmithing, but more of a jewelry soldering course. There's a local lady here within London who's had a lot of experience. She does that professionally, like silversmithing. And so she has a small little studio and there's three of us. I think there's only two of us now who are doing it. And last night I made a ring. I learned how to make a little pendant. I did soldering, like different things. And she had another course coming up next month I'm going to take. So I'm just trying to do as much as I can before I have to go home.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, not even just go home, but I mean, even the access, I guess, to a lot of things like in English language, I think too.
Yeah.
And not having to drive to like the big city, like that kind of thing. Sometimes that's a deterrent for some people, especially me. Like, well, there's a workshop, but you got to drive at 5 o'clock at night to Montreal. Like,
and fight traffic and parking and everything else.
And but I'm trying to take advantage of everything that the time I have left and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Very cool. Oh
How
my God, that's exciting.
How is your mystery graduation outfit? Your piece you're doing for our listeners who might not know, there's a initiative that started in Ghana. I believe it was last year, maybe even the year before.
I think it was last year.
Where a local beadworker and basket maker helped to initiate the opportunity for students who are graduating from high school, I believe. Is it just high school or elementary?
No, it's both. Yeah, elementary.
So elementary and high school, to have, if they didn't have like traditional outfits or regalia to wear, that they would be paired up with somebody, I mean, not necessarily them knowing who was doing it, but they would be eligible to have pieces created for them. And Margaret graciously is donating her time and her skill to do that. And how's that going?
It's going when it's going, but it's different. The experience was different for me, so I am enjoying it though, and I can't wait to kind of see how it comes out. It started off Well, not on anyone else's part. It started off a little hairy for me because I'm a psychotic control freak. So
Uh-huh.
I needed to see that, like, I needed all the info. I needed all of that, which was provided. So that was great. They gave me some materials, some beadwork. Beads, sorry, patterns and all those kind of things. So I took most of that. I adjusted like things that, like, say if I felt like, well, maybe this color I don't care for it, I incorporated my own beads or whatever, you know. So and
Uh-huh.
which was nice. We had the leeway to do so. They gave us like the color combos and things like that. So I had gotten started finally on it, and the young man that I'm doing mine for,
Uh-huh.
I think he changed his fabric halfway through, which is fine. You know, it's not a big deal.
Uh-huh.
But luckily, I didn't have any of the main colors on the vamps
Oh, okay.
because it's totally different. Like the colors are totally different, and there's kind of
Oh, really?
yeah, and there's a group of us. There's I think two others that are working on his thing, and the harder part is for me at this time. I was not too worried about it matching, or well, I wanted it to match in color, yes, but
Yeah.
to say like everything identical.
Yeah.
I wasn't too worried about that. I just, you know, we all had the same color patterns.
Mhm.
So we're all just going to kind of go off of that. And I feel like as long as everyone kind of sticks to the same palettes, then I think
Yeah,
it'll all come out together beautifully, you know.
for sure.
But yeah, so we had to just stop and hold on to the reins for a little while there because he had picked something different. And luckily the velveteen and some of the beads that they had given me had still matched the new, because the
Oh,
old
good.
one was like purples and grays and like almost
Yeah.
blues and stuff like that. Not even blue, like something I forget the other colors. And then this one was gray, red, turquoise, black. So it was it was totally different. But what I had on the vamps still matched. So that worked out great. And then I just incorporated the rest of the colors. But it was like back to the drawing board because now I was like, okay, now what am I doing? Like, especially because the other colors were a lot more bold than I'm used to. Or I find when I do my work, I kind of everything else is muted. Everyone knows like my palette is usually like super like muted and calm and whatever. And I'll use
Mm-hmm.
like one punch of color here and there. So this one had two big punches with that like really dark, like rich turquoise and then the bright red. And I was like, oh shit, how am I putting these two colors in there without it getting too much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or for me, it's like how do I work with it because I'm not used to that, you know? So anyways, I just kind of kept it simple in a sense because I was also trying to think like I'm doing this for like a young man too, you know,
Yeah.
it's so I was trying to okay, like how am I going to keep a balance here? How am I going to keep it like a little bit more neutral, something more for a teenager, you know. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so I just went mostly with the black and the grays and all that, and I put all of the vine work. I ended up doing some of those turquoise colors. So I really liked how it came out in the end. I was like, oh my god, I really like this color palette now, and like the combo and whatever. So I have one side done. I had to just run right through one side and not go back and forth, except for the flower
Mm-hmm.
because I knew what I was doing there. But everything else, I was like, I just got to get this one side done as fast as I can, and then jump to the other side and continue that. So that's where I'm at right now. I am about maybe 40% done the second side, but it won't take me long now that I have all the colors on there. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just to do the mocks after that. And of course, you know me, I'm always changing up my moccasins and
Wait, you're doing cuffs and mocks, or you're just
no,
doing
no, no, I'm just doing the moccasins.
okay.
Yeah. So I, I started changing up like how,
Again?
yeah, a little bit. Like,
That's good.
yeah, I readjust it because kind of like, well, and you know, it's kind of similar to your style too. Like when you put in, what's it called? A liner, or when you put something in, I'm changing it so that you can't feel it on your toes, you know, so I'm doing that now instead. But there were a few kinks in the road doing that. Like it's just a learning curve and sizing and stuff like that. So I have to play around with my pattern a little bit. I had just done moccasins for someone else for a raffle and they don't fit her because I didn't allot enough space because of how much it gets smaller and tighter. Yeah, so I have to just really make sure that
Because you put a thicker lining in too, though, right? You don't just put, okay.
Yeah, so I for mine, it's like I have a liner already on the leather part. There's a base. I put a little bit of things in there, and then I put an extra liner inside.
Yeah.
So it's a little thicker, and so this time around I didn't allot enough. Like I thought I did. I did put extra, but I didn't put enough. So I have to keep that in mind for this next pair because it's like a lot of leather and materials that it didn't really go to waste. I can just reuse them for something else, but they're a size like smaller now. So anyway,
what size are they?
I don't even know. I was able to. I test them out. Like, sorry, people, if you ever get moccasins from me, I usually test them out if they're close to my size because I try to see. Look, like, okay, if they're a 9 and I can get my foot in it, okay, then it's okay. You know.
Yeah.
I don't step down or like I just literally slip it on my foot and then try to like just gauge the size. But anyway, so I did that with it and I was able to get my foot in it and I was like, okay, this maybe it will fit. And then the lady wrote to me and was like, no, they're like way too small. So I'm like, crap. So anyway, so with this boy's, I think his foot is about a 12 maybe. So I have to.
Well, if you run into a Dewanarda, he's a size 12 foot.
Oh,
his is wide though.
Yeah.
They're wide.
They're wide. So yeah, so it's coming along though. But
and your sons? Oh, go ahead.
I didn't even. No. It's I'm a little under pressure right now. I have an extra pair of moccasins that I took on, which I don't know what the hell's wrong with me.
I just took on an order too for the fall.
Yeah, this is for June. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Send me. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me?
Are you thinking that's graduation?
Yeah, I took it on 2 months ago thinking that I'd be done a lot of these other things, but I'm just, I'll get into more stuff later on, but there's like, life is crazy and there's always some bullshit going on. So it, kind of put me back a little bit. So I am a little sweating it up because I still have these ones to finish. I have the new ones I took on and then my son's. And then I got
what does your son want? Does he want a few things? Does he having a Gustoa with it? Is he going to get one?
I don't bloody know what we're doing. He wants a Gustoa. I did reach out to the Hajj, so that order is placed. All of his stuff is dropped off at Gunarita's, so she's sewing it up for us, like his shirt. And then he keeps like trying to decide what he wants, I guess. At first he wanted a breech cloth, but I kind of said like, you're going to get what you're going to get at this point. Like, but I said like definitely the main beading stuff will be done. I said like, I'll do medallion. I think I'm going to do like that chest plate thing. I might do arm cuffs, like the bicep cuff, and his moccasins. So I said, definitely those things will be done, hopefully. So I said, and then if there's time for anything else, then we'll add. But I kind of also feel like I'm a realist too, where I'm like, you know what, if you're wearing that breech cloth just for your grad, then I'm not doing it, like, unless you're going to be wearing it all the time, like, I'm not sweating and busting my ass for it. Like, if you want to wear it, like every time you go to Gunasesne, or if you're, if it's going to be used, then yeah, but other than that, you're not getting it. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, it's been a crazy month or so. Since March, it's been a little bit crazy and pushed a lot of things back on me. Yeah. And you, what about your grad stuff? I've been seeing all your little sneak peeks.
So the stuff for my niece is almost, all I have to do is, well, you know how I like to whip stitch the edge of my moccasins around that. So I just have to do that on their moccasins and everything is done. Her sets are done. And I just have to get photos of them. That's it. The other set, the cuffs are completely done, like the arm cuffs. The purse is, all the beadwork is done, but I have to still do like a strap, crossbody strap. And sometimes like stuff like that where I'm not necessarily used to doing those kind of things. I did one I did one for my niece, but I've done one before too. But it's nothing that's like set in my mind. It seems like I'm always starting from scratch every time. I haven't done enough to be like, oh yeah, just like with moccasins, I know what to do. It's no big deal. Sometimes it takes work to think like, okay, is the strap going to come from behind the bag? Is it going to come on the side of the bag? And so those kind of things I'm trying to iron out, but it's not on my forefront because the beadwork is done, right? Like that's just one of those little things that, I'll just leave it to the end, but then it takes 100 years because you don't know what to do.
You got to figure it out.
And then I have to make cuffs for Sender Sea moccasins, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't do any of that yet. And we still haven't discussed what the yoke's going to be because she didn't necessarily know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a little daunting because I don't even have a design for it, but whatever, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second set, everything is designed with the exception of the yoke. It hasn't been approved just because I wasn't sure if that's the design I want, but I think I might do it, even though it's a lot. And this second outfit is more floral vines, whereas the first outfit pieces were more like linear work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But then I made the mistake of like, oh yeah, I'll do a rope stitch in size 15. And then I'm like, maybe I'll do another one, like a braid. So I started a braid and it looked good. But like, I'm now of the mind, especially with the last that I did, that everything doesn't have to match. Like, I mean, in terms of like, if I put bias on the purse, I don't have to put bias on the cuffs.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff I don't have to do. So if I want to do like rope stitch on the purse, I don't necessarily have to probably do rope stitch on the cuffs because the cuffs are more elaborately beaded than like the, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So different things like that. So, but yeah, so I'm not to say I'm golden. I'm like bronzing. I'm not even silver yet, but I'm pretty bronze, you know, like I would be more, like under the gun kind of if I hadn't even started any of the, haven't started like one of the sets, but every set is
like me, like I have
like
shit
every
all for
set
myself.
has stuff done, something done, you know, and like I said, all the beadwork is done, but it's just like the daunting task of like outlining a flower. Like I have one main flower that I have to outline, but it's a big one, and it's just like it's not hard, but it just it's more time consuming.
Yeah,
once you bead it, like you fill it in, it's super fast, you know, like you really see movement. But yeah, so that's the only thing. But it looks really good. They all look different. All three sets look different.
Cool. And that's like a hard task to do when you're cycling them and when they're all similar in colors too, because it's kind of like that idea almost like leaches into all the other ones. So it's like it's
like
nice
one color.
Yeah.
Not necessarily one color tone. It's not the same bead, but every set they all pick the same color, like the same color, like kind of.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't pick the same bead, but they all picked kind of the same kind of color in the color palette shade or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was funny. There was a picture of them and somebody else, and I thought, oh my God, like, thank God I'm not beading for that other girl, because then they would be all dressed the same. Like, you know, like, but yeah, so it's nice because two of them go to the same school and one girl goes to another school. So there'll be three women. So that's like, this is the first time I've ever done this, like 3 people. I've done 2 last year. So last year? Not last year.
2 years ago.
Maybe 2 years ago for my son and my niece. I did 3 that year too. Yeah, maybe I did. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so this is my first year doing 3, like with pretty major stuff. But I have to do my beadwork on my project. So I'm just like, trying to figure out what I do. Like, should I try to get, my closest deadline is my exhibit and then it's a graduation. So I'm trying to figure out, like, should I just go full force in my project and then put the graduation aside, even though I know I could probably make more headway with the graduation because they're bigger beads, you know? So
yeah, I hear you. It's like total time management and weighing out things right now, because that's exactly where I was when I had started the donation ones. I was starting a pair of moccasins for my son and I didn't like how they came out. So I do actually have a pair of moccasins for him that are already all sewn up, but I didn't like it. So I probably won't I'll probably redo them. But what ended up happening was because it was like so scattered everywhere that I was like, I can't focus on everything. And now I felt like, okay, I'm making mistakes because like I just messed up these whole moccasins. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not focusing on my sons right now. I'll get these other things out of the way and then I can give all my attention to one thing. So that's what I tried to do instead. Whereas normally I cycle everything. If I have a bunch of orders, I'm working on all of them simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
So this time I said I can't. Like, I really have to just start trying to focus on one thing, get that done, then on to the next kind of thing. So I don't know how well that's working for me right now because I have like 75% of a vamp of moccasins done, or the beadwork only, because I still have to do all the sewing now.
Yeah,
So
my heart just went down on my chest. So like, oh,
my timeline though is April. This month I have to have 2 moccasins done. On top, well, on top of that, the raffle one now because
oh
they
my
don't
God.
fit her. I was like, no.
Oh, it was for a raffle. Okay.
Yeah, it was an
Oh,
old
okay.
piece. Like it was for my past raffle, and the beadwork's done, everything, and like I just have to size them up, like which still means I have to make a whole new moccasin. So, but I did let her know like I have to move on with my orders right now. So that has to take priority. So, but I'm gonna try to see if I can, like, say if I cut everything out, I'm gonna cut those out too and have them prepared.
yeah.
And if I'm in the mood, then I can just whip everything up all at once.
Yeah.
But I have to see how I feel. So we've had some craziness going on since March, and with permission, because it's not just my my news or whatever. It's my daughter, kind of thing. So this morning I was like, "Do you mind if I talk about what was going on? Like, just it's part of life and all that." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Like the advocacy, like what I said in my message to you about advocacy.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah. So
yeah.
just to preface is that I think like you're awesome and you did a really good job in really trying to figure out what was going on. And like if you didn't, then you would still be in the unknown. So now tell everybody what you now know.
Yes. So for the past, I want to say 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, my daughter has been dealing with a like an injury kind of, but it was an injury that there was no injury in a sense. They were asking us like, do you remember anything traumatic happening? And we're like, no, like she didn't even twist her ankle. She didn't even she never fell or anything like that. It was just kind of like one of those things where she was playing basketball in Chattagee with a league. And here and there, she started saying like, it's sore, like my ankle's pretty sore. And so we kept an eye on it now. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was just you stepped down hard or whatever, but it kept coming and going now. And then it got to the point where now we're watching and I'm like, she can't even run. Like, okay, so we went to her doctor. We got referrals. She got x-rays. We seen physio. We had done 2 bouts, I believe, of physio. And then they had sent us to a specialist, for the physio to like kind of narrow in a little bit more. And she did 2 sessions with her, and she was like, I think like you're at MRI stage now, because she was like, nothing I'm doing is helping, So this process has been about a year, that we had all that going, and so we put all our referrals in for the MRIs and things like that, and to go like just through Medicare takes really long. Like,
yeah, it's a long process.
Yeah, so we could have been looking at like about a year wait for an MRI with through Medicare. So we decided right before we went away to March for March break. We were in Florida. We decided like, you know what, we'll just go private, and it was big bucks. It was like $650 just for like half an hour of an MRI, Yeah. So, but we were like, we called while we were in Florida. Greg called and we got that ball rolling. They called us like the next day and they were like, you can come in tomorrow. So, but we were away. So anyways, we ended up going as soon as we got back that following Monday. So in the meantime, we were away, and right before we left, she had a basketball game, but she was still suffering from her foot. It was like in a lot of pain now. She did the physio. She kind of felt a little bit better. And then she was like, well, I'm going to play. It's one of my final games. I'm going to play whatever. So she did play, and I could see it like something happened, and she ended up not continuing the game. Like it was really hurting. So she sat the rest and whatever. When we were away in Florida, she could barely walk now. So she was in a wheelchair. Like we had to push her around. Like, yeah, it got really bad. So by the time we got home now, that Monday we took her, we did the MRI. Tuesday morning we got the results, and it turned out that she had a fracture it's called the talus bone. It's basically like the round bone that connects the top of your foot to your shin. It's like all like little plates kind of like in there, and it's like this like a round bone almost like a ball. So the doctor called and she said, okay, so she has a fracture in that bone, and she said the fracture is actually because she has a cyst in that bone. We had x-rays done about a year ago and there was no indication of it. So within the year, it had grown, and it was pretty big. It was like a ping pong ball ish, or however however
Goodness,
big
that's
that,
big.
yeah, it's pretty big. Like it hollowed out the bone. So however big
But
that bone
you
is,
couldn't feel it, right? She couldn't feel that.
we didn't know that's what it was because the physios had all thought it was something else. We thought it was more muscular or like her ligaments or things like that. So
Oh, okay.
nobody had ever thought it was the bone.
To get it, nobody said to get an MRI before to really check what that
No,
was.
because it could have been muscular, you know, so nobody was really looking at that. So yeah, until we got all of that, then it was like, it's been like a pretty rushed, even though it's kind of, it feels long, but it's been going pretty fast. The past 3 weeks have been like appointment after appointment after appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's basically this round ball in her ankle or wherever. It's hollowed out, and when she probably played, or it could have even her stepping down hard, it shattered the bone.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah,
And
so
it was that's what happened. Oh my goodness.
yeah, they said it's basically like a hollowed out egg. That's what it is right now. So she has to have surgery. We are being followed by the Shriners right now. So
Oh yeah, they're a good hospital.
yeah, they've been really good. And it's really nice. They gave us like access to like a line where I can call and speak to the nurse if she's having more pain or if there's something wrong, or you know, and they're usually really good. If they can't answer, they call me back within a day or two. So yeah, so it's been pretty crazy. We went and it was like getting kicked in the stomach at one point because we had finally seen the surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon, and he was like, "Well, we're going to refer you now to oncology." And I was like, "Why? Why are we going to oncology?" Like, to me, like dealing with, you know, my mother had gone through cancer and all that. To me, oncology is cancer. Like that's what I associate it with. So I wanted to die when he said that because I'm like, and I couldn't even, you know, and it's just like overwhelming with everything that
Doesn't
they're
register until you're leaving. You're like, oh my God.
yeah, so that's kind of what happened. And they were just giving us different information and whatever. And he had kind of left the room. But there was there was like a junior doctor in there or a student doctor and the nurses and whatever. Yeah. So I had asked them, I'm like, well, wait. I was like, okay, let's back this up. Like, what do you mean oncology? Why are we going there? And is this still a cyst? Like, is that what you think it is? Or are we talking like cancerous or, you know? So they got the doctor back in there, which kind of even made me more nervous. And I was trying to keep it together because I didn't want my daughter to get freaked out either, you know? So
and all of you are in there, like your husband's in there and
no, it was just me and her.
Just you and her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he came in and he was like, I just said like, okay, is this still, you know, a cyst or are we looking at cancer now? And he was like, no. He said it is still considered a benign tumor, like because it is a cyst. He said, and he's like, it's aggressive in a sense because it's growing and it's eating away her bone. So he's like, we do have to treat it in that sense. So he's like, that's why oncology has to get on board because they have to, she has to do a CT scan this coming week so that they can see everything around and whatever. So they have to, from what I understand, they still don't have a formal plan yet. We have to still see everybody. But I believe they're going to probably do like a burr hole and then just like scrape it out. They have to take everything out, make sure that there's no cells left in because a cyst could regenerate. Yeah. Which I didn't know. So it could just regenerate, regrow, and then just do more damage to the bone again. So she has to have that removed. And then they're going to fill it with, he said it's basically like a cement, like for your bone, pretty much. So yeah, that's the whole thing that we've been going through like the last month or so. Month. And yeah, it's been a wild ride a little bit. It's just keeping up with appointments and knowing who the doctors are, who I'm going to see. And it's a little bit crazy for a little while, but hopefully by Tuesday we'll have a plan and we'll know like that we'll start setting like surgery dates and things like that. Like she's getting pretty tired of that boot and her crutches and things like that too. So you know, it'd be nice to kind of get her life back together a little bit. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what's been putting me off too with a lot of my beading right now. It's just like, it's tiring.
Yeah, you got things going on.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on.
Major things.
Yeah. So we're just going through the motions right now. And hopefully, like I said, everything will get sorted out by next week and we'll have some dates set and I'll know. You know, and it's hard because everything's up in the air. And sometimes they call me like a day before, like, okay, we can fit you into oncology tomorrow. So then I have to stop everything. I have to cancel all whatever, and then be ready. So yeah, so we're just kind of like playing a waiting game right now. So we'll see. Hopefully things will move quickly. But yeah, that's my craziness.
I mean, but it's too bad that it all happened that way, like that she had to go through it for such a long time. But the peace of mind, like what I wrote with you, like in our discussion last week or 2 weeks ago, was just like the peace of mind of knowing, like even for you to say, like, you know what, like it wasn't just in her mind. I mean, I'm assuming, like, because you said there was nothing, you can't see anything, right? It's just something she feels, and so just for her to be like, there is something wrong. Like I'm not making it up, or not that say anybody thought that, but that, like there is something wrong.
Yeah, like we have answers at least. Yeah. And it was like in some ways I wasn't relieved that she had a fractured foot, but like I was relieved, like, okay, well, now we know, now we can fix it.
Now you have a diagnosis, right?
Yeah. And now we can move on, because it was like holding her back. She wasn't able to play her sports to the fullest extent. She wanted to do other things this summer. And, even those things might be up in the air right now. Hopefully she'll be on the mend, but we'll see, things might still have to be on the hold for a little while, but we'll see, hopefully things go all great. Yeah. Oh.
And you'll tackle whatever comes your way, and it'll be how it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wildness.
Wild. Yeah. And it was just crazy because I was like, what? Like I was talking with a friend. I won't say her name in case she doesn't want the whole world to know, but she had that happen to her too as a child. And she was like, imagine that's what it was. And I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then when we found out, I was like, oh my God, guess what it is? And she's like, holy crap, like get out of here. Like, what are the odds? Like, cause it's like kind of a rare thing. Like it's strange for it to be inside the bone. You get cysts all over the place, but not normally inside the bone. So yeah, it was just weird, very weird. But yeah, so other than that, I don't know. We're just,
living,
living, trying to live and trying to bead and trying to, the store has been doing real great lately.
Really? That's really good. My beads came in.
Yay. Oh my God.
2 boxes. I think it's like 60 pounds of beads, and my tubes just arrived today.
Oh my God.
I was driving here. So maybe when I'm away, my mother will do some of the tubes and the beads. Put the beads in the tubes.
Yay! Oh my God, our wall is like in shambles right now. There's probably about 50 beads, 50 colors left or less on the board. Yeah, we got rampage. So
trying to get through as much as they can, I guess.
Yeah. So
it's limited.
Yeah, so it's been going really great with all the new changes and everything else. That's been really good and stuff like that. And it's like grad season, so everybody is looking for materials and beads and everything else. So I'm sure everybody is in that grind right now, just trying to get all their stuff done. But yeah, craziness.
So the crafting wheels are still turning.
Somewhat.
With that being said, oh, go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, I was just, there's now offhand, I can't remember, the Seneca Museum. They are having an art competition, and I know. I couldn't. I was like, oh, I really wanted to apply. Part of it though was like you had to be a vendor.
I know.
And I was like, I can't. Obviously, I can't get anything going right now. So I'm like, oh, I won't have anything available, and even just to have something ready to be in a show, I'm like, I can't do it right now. So I was kind of bummed. I'm like, maybe for next year I'll plan and be like, okay, next year I'm gonna do it, And when the spring sing just passed, and it was out that way already. Well, it was like sort of.
Bring it? No, just kidding.
Oh God! But that drive is like a killer, man. That was a long drive. It was like it took us about 8.5 hours to get there because
wasn't it bad weather though?
Yeah, we hit like a snowstorm going, so it was a hell. But anyways, I was just kind of like thinking, like, we were just there a few weeks ago, and I'm like, do I have it in me to drive there again in a few weeks? Like, I was like, oh, that's so far. I don't know if I want to do it. But I am bummed out though that I won't be participating this year. So, but I just want to give a shout out to everyone, busting their butts right now to get pieces there and, ready for vending, and good luck to everybody. I really wish I could have participated this year, but hopefully next year I'll get involved.
Did you hear what I said when I said I'm going?
Oh, are you? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yay. Good job. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you
So,
crazy? What the hell?
yeah, like that's So yeah.
Oh,
So yeah.
hell. Yeah.
So I have one piece. I have one piece maybe to sell right now, and then. But I mean, I know I can do it. I have a few pairs of moccasins that were just like tests.
Yeah.
For nobody, just to see, and so I can do that. Like that's not a problem because it doesn't have to be, as long as I slap some beads on it.
Yeah.
And people would be interested in that. Like it's not like some center scenes with a beaded edge on a moccasin. No sweat, But that's what
You're crazy. That's like taking on no orders and shit. Oh my God.
I have some cuffs that are wrapped in leather. I could just bead a little like small little flower and slap that on, like.
Oh my
But
God.
that's like, yeah. So I wasn't planning to bead anything if I didn't get in, right? Because like why would you? Why would you prepare for anything? Because it's so much easier. But I wasn't planning on it. But yeah, so that's what I gotta do. But I'm not really worried.
Yeah.
I have a few things I can just whip up.
Just slap it all together.
And I'll be back from my trip by then too. Like I get back on the 24th, I believe, and it's only on the 11th. It's only like Mother's Day weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So really, I think I'll have time.
Yeah. Yeah. And even that too, like with everything, like my daughter, like things are just on hold a little bit, I don't know when her surgery is going to be too. I was like, I'm like, we're kind of grounded a little bit for a little while. So
yeah,
I was like, I'll just do it. I'll try again next year.
You know what? You don't have to say, but do you know other people from town if they are going?
No, I don't know.
Who's going?
Yeah.
Hit us up
Drop
and
us
tell us.
on. Yeah, I don't know who else was applying because I know a lot of people are in the same boat as we are a little bit, like with the crunch or they're trying to get things done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people actually prepping and going crazy right now for powwow, which is in a few like months away, but still, yeah, because you got to have like a million things. So, but yeah, that's all going on too. So, but yeah, we'll see. I'm excited though. I love these shows. I love it. Like even if I'm not there, because I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what they're gonna post and what items people are bringing. Like. It's exciting to see all the new innovated, pieces to be shown. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for them to post everything and show the world. That'll be exciting for next month.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
I just got sick to my stomach just thinking about it because I forgot about it until you said
it. Oh, good luck.
I'm not even sure if I have that no, I don't even think a few weeks ago. Was it a few weeks? It must have been over a week ago because I've only known for a little while.
Oh, okay.
It must have been over a week ago. I wrote a list of all of my things. I wrote that, like everything I had to do. Now I have to add that into my list because I don't think I have that on my list. So my list just got bigger.
Ooh. Yeah, no, not for me. I have a weird topic that I just was thinking of, and it's probably controversial. Yay! No. Let's start a goddamn pot. So, it's not dogging anyone because I don't want to dog anybody. It's not anything about that, but it's so I want to pick people's brains because there was an issue that came out on Facebook about a month ago, and I did notice it triggered me. It triggered me a lot, and I was uncomfortable with it. But then I had to kind of sit with it, like, okay, is this just me being crazy or like knee-jerk reaction kind of thing, or what? So there is an artist, not from the community. He's non-native. He's a tattoo artist, and he was drawing our symbols, like our stuff, like all of our sky domes and like some of our old, like from books, like some of our historical books and things like that. And he was drawing them all out and then selling them on Facebook. So when I saw that, I don't know what the hell, it just triggered me. And I was like, whoa, like to me, I was like, that's like total cultural appropriation. Like you're not part of that culture to be drawing it. And some of them are very specific and they're very, so anyways, that's how I felt. So I did say something on there and I was polite. I wasn't nasty about it, but I was just kind of like, but no, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like we do have our own artists within the community who are capable of drawing those things for our people. And understandably, he is a tattoo artist, so he would be doing it. But I'm like, but you're going now way out of your way to do the research, to look for everything, to get all of our symbols and everything. and then sell it. And on the post, there was nothing stated that it was only for non-Onkwehón. So I was kind of like, so can anybody get it? Like, am I going to roll up at Wendy's and Shaggy and the person's going to have a big giant like sky dome on their face and hand me my burger? Like, what the hell, you know? So that's what I wasn't too clear on and whatever. But and it was like that. Like, I didn't want to dog him because I know he does good business within the community. He does a lot to help out and things like that. But I was just kind of caught off guard with that, and I didn't know why it bothered me so much. So, and I didn't even post about it because, like, I know a lot of people are good friends with him or close with him or, you know, things like that. So it's not about him personally or anything, but it's the whole situation in general that kind of really threw me. And so I'd like to hear back, like, what do people think about that? And not him specifically, but in general, like, if that was somebody else taking our stuff who's non-Onkwehón and selling, you know, like, I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, so that was my knee-jerk reaction to all of that. And he did delete me and block me.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine, you know, whatever. But I was just trying to, because I wasn't the only one, though. There were a lot that kind of felt the same, like.
Well, I'm sure it must have been a topic of a conversation. Like, you know, people see, like, sometimes I might see something and inbox you. I'm sure some people are doing that as well, you know?
Yeah, it was probably going around, yeah. Yeah. So it just, because some of it, too, was like, of course, I did comparisons after that. There's like some of our historical books with drawings and things like that we have within the community, and the drawings that he did were identical, and he just threw on like maybe a berry here, a berry there, and then called it original. And I was like, can you really say that's original? Like, you literally just put 2 circles on some of our work that's been in our, you know, communities for thousands of years. Like, what the hell? Like, it just, it pissed me off. Anyways, that's the bottom line. It just really did piss me off. So, but what he had commented was that people were asking him to draw these things, and I guess have them ready available, like if they walk in and they want, I don't know. But I was just like, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it was just weird to me. The whole situation just threw me off. So that's my controversy that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I mean, before I move on to this next one, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I guess I don't want to, not to say, I think the real part of it is that he's making money off of something that doesn't belong to him.
Yeah. That's kind of how
another
I felt.
part, you know? Maybe if somebody went there with the design, who's Onkwehón, and said, can you draw this for me? You're building off of his talent as a tattooer. But that other part of it, it's, I don't know. It's
the extra steps to take and go above.
I'm telling you, on Facebook, it's different if you said, like, you know, it was in your store and you had, you know, I work with a lot of people from, let's just say it's me. So I'd be like, you know, hi, welcome to the tattoo place, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, here are some things that I do, whatever. And here are some things that I found that are more, well, I don't know, what, maybe something towards your culture or whatnot. Maybe you might be interested in, then maybe that way. But even then, I don't know. Like, there's so many, I mean, I guess it's also the accessibility to Onkwehón tattoo artists, which there are, not to say there are women, men, hand poked, regular, I mean, not, what do you call that? Not drill. What is that? Gun, or what is it called? Is it called the gun?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or needle or whatever. Anyway, so there's something for everybody. But yeah, it's just that part, I think, is just a little bit like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. And it was kind
of art. It's not just like, I mean, people think, oh, it's just a tattoo. It's art. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And then like that too, like there's symbols that have meanings to us. And there were, like, I read the thread after a while, you know, like everyone was probably on it reading everything. And some people actually had some points to say, like, you know, like some of our tattoos are specific. Like we have some that they say like are more for men or for women. They have significance to them. Their shading colorings have whatever, you know, like, so yeah, it was just kind of like, I don't know, to me, I was like, but you're like, yeah, anyone can draw anything, but you're kind of removed from do you know the meanings of them? And like, or I don't know. Anyways, it didn't sit right with me. I don't know.
There's 2 sides to that. There's actually it's a many-faceted thing because I'm just going to say it. Because are there the people who go there and get those tattoos and promote that that's okay too?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's that, like, yeah, he has them readily available. And there's people who actually buy the stuff from him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so is that cool too? Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool to get a tattoo, no problem. And no offense to anybody who's gotten a tattoo from this person, because like that's your prerogative. But it's not just it's on him. It's a whole lot of stuff. And it's, and it could also be a lack of our own knowledge about tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like our personal knowledge about tattooing too, and that kind of stuff. So it's a whole big gamut of things that people could say. It's not just one isolated thing, but yeah, it does kind of leave a little bit of a in your throat a little bit.
Yeah, because I was trying to be, kind of looking at it from all angles a little bit, like even playing my own devil's advocate, because people will go to any tattoo place anywhere and be like, okay, well, I want all these symbols and they're Hawaiian symbols, like people get that all the time without being part of that culture or knowing what those meanings are or those kind of things. And they get any random person to do it that may not be part of that culture. So I was like, which is that right or wrong? That too, like, what do the Hawaiians think of that? So it's like,
yeah,
I was trying to think of that too, like, is this me just like wanting to be like, no, that's mine, don't touch it kind of thing? Or did I have some solid foundation in my reaction, So I was kind of like just trying to gauge my own reactions here anyway. So yeah, so that was that. But yeah, so it still just didn't sit cool with me. But anyways.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe is it because I'm an artist? And I was like, son of a bitch, like I could have drawn that, like you're not non-Onkwehón, you're drawing that and you're taking money away from our community where other artists could have done that for people, like
it does read like appropriation.
Yeah.
It would read like appropriation totally 100%. I mean, it does.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know the context either, like if you just said, oh, this person's doing this, then you'd be like, whoa, see, that's a difference. Is that because you might know the person, it doesn't hit as hard. But if you didn't know them and you saw on Facebook people selling tattoo designs, it would leave a total negative thing in your mind. Because people, like I said, like people endorse kind of this thing, then it's not as maybe it doesn't hit as hard. So
yeah.
But whatever.
And that too, it's like in all the whole situation. Yeah, it is. It's a tricky thing. Like I don't think he had any ill intentions at all.
Yeah, for sure.
He was actually trying to do good by his clientele and whatever. So it's not really on him. Like I can't be like, oh my God, he's such an asshole or he's a bad guy. I don't believe that, and that's not even what I had written on there or even tried to portray or anything like that. But just coming from my standpoint or where my reaction and feeling to it, I was like, nah, I don't think this is okay. Like, so whatever. But yeah, so that was it. So I'd like to hear, like, what are other people's point of views on that? Like, if they differ from mine, that's totally fine too, because I was trying to just see all different views and points on that one. So I'd be interested to hear feedback on that. And I'm sure people know who. I'm not going to call anybody out, but it's out there. So anyway, moving on.
On a lighter note, we had two things that came in. One, I kind of laughed out loud and I didn't read it yet because I didn't open it on my phone. But the first one I read and it just says, so this young person wrote, I noticed a couple discussions from beaders about using beads that the color might fade. So they have to take apart whatever it is they're working on and rebead it with a different color. I never knew about this. How can you determine which beads will fade and which won't? So I've done this exact same thing in the beginning of the year. I used a colored bead that faded. And one of the reasons I knew is because it actually faded in the process. And that's one thing with exterior of the bead is dyed. And so that will happen. Now, also, there are silver line beads that will also change color depending on the acidity of the fabric or material that you're beading on. I didn't know that part. So you have to neutralize it somehow. I didn't really look down the rabbit hole because I looked on the internet how you can neutralize it, but that's one thing. And then there are also the color line beads that are like painted on. Like it's not painted, but it's lined inside. So if you're going through them multiple times, then eventually your thread might run across that color and it might fade it. So that's the possibility. And then there are the typical like pink and purples that are like just like I said, bead like the color I was using was green and it still faded. So it's just really the finish on the exterior part of it of the bead that will fade off. And sometimes some metallic colors will change too, depending if it's like a really good, like if it's like a good like galvanized or a really good metal like finish on it. Sometimes if it's not good, it might like change color or depending on the sun and stuff like that. So I mean, all beads I think have the potential to fade if in the sun for years and years and years and years and years of time. But you know, that's just like fabric or anything else too. Like to kind of be aware of that. But one way to know is to like, if you know the manufacturer of your beads and you cross-reference on the internet with that number, it'll tell you what kind of bead it is and it'll say dyed. You know, like they're not trying to hide it from anybody, but just to be aware, sometimes silver line, some metal, some color line beads, and what else did I say? And some galvanized okay, but also the it just says dyed on there. So that's one way to know. And then here is one, it says
wait. Let me I have like, to me, I'm like, I don't really care about that. Not that I don't care. Do. I mean, like, sometimes surprise, it might change. Who gives a shit? What? Like,
isn't that a song or something?
Yeah.
I'm just
stupid. Like, surprise, surprise. It's like that old lady singing. I don't know.
Yes.
But to me, everything's gonna fade. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't know. Like, surprise, you might get something totally different. Maybe it'll fade to a nicer color one day, so you'll have a whole new, different like look on it. Like, I don't know, like, unless, but like you said, like, say if there's a project that you're working on, like that happened to me. I had beads from, I think from the shop years ago when I was doing the vase, and I had this, like, say 2 tubes of it, and it was one color lot, and I did the vase and I ran out, and then I needed a new one. So now the new batch were slightly off, and it wasn't even that noticeable, but because I'm psychotic, I could see it, and it did bug me, yes. But that was like a project in the works, like.
And it didn't fade the bead; it was just a different color lot. She's talking about actual fading.
Yeah, I think it faded too, though, because because they're not protected in my house; they're right in the sun. So
yeah,
you know, so I think there was a bit of both kind of thing. But if it's all on one piece and it's gonna fade, well, for the most part, it should fade evenly, and then it'll kind of still all look the same anyways. So to me, I don't look at that. I don't worry about it too, because like, say if it's something specific, like say moccasins, like you're going to wear the shit out of them anyways. Like they're going to be dirty. They're going to be full of mud and dirt. Even anything that's like living and used is going to change, you know, unless it's a showpiece, then I can understand. Okay, well, you know what? I want these colors to be intact for thousands of years, which probably won't happen. But I can understand that where it's like, say a picture frame where it's not, there's no wear and tear on it, I guess, you know, and you want it to stay pristine. But other than that, I don't really worry about that. That doesn't even like really cross my mind, I don't think, like, because like I find then you get limited, like you're limited with the colors after that, you know, or the finishes or whatever. So I don't know. That's kind of how I think of it. Like, me, whatever. Yeah.
That's good. Good to know that you don't care. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So the next question, it's a joke, but I'm going to say it because the person wrote in, and so it says, please discuss how to apply to a bead click.
Oh.
Are there any special...
Who the hell wrote this? What asshole wrote?
Don't say that, but our listeners, we love them all.
Sorry.
You can look online. Oh, no, you can't, but you could. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know. But when you find out, let me know, because I might be in the market for one. No, just kidding.
God. Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm over that whole damn thing. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe because I haven't been in town that much. I haven't heard any rumblings, but whatever.
I'm just gonna shut my mouth on all of that. So
why, you know stuff? I can hear it in your mouth, your mouth, your voice. I can hear it. I can see your faces. You have your like mischievous lying face on. But you know, like I have seen a lot of people doing beadwork online. It's so excellent. Everyone's like, people are just coming into their own. Like I've seen other artists who I've seen for many years, but have some of them more. I don't want to say young. I'll say younger because they're younger than me. Younger. Artists who are like making their, like you can see now that their aesthetic and their style is starting to come out more and more, like, you know, like it's their own. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. So, you know, you want to be part of the clique, you just bead and just just bead and that's it. Like,
And don't worry. Be part of that clique.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit. No, not just don't give a shit. I don't worry. I don't worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm moving on. I'm moving on from that one. So
there's something there for an in-person conversation. I know
probably,
that.
Yeah. You're gonna light some kind of fire under my ass soon. So, oh my God! Speaking of new beater, I don't know why I'm saying new. Nobody's new. They're just. I think it's because they're younger, anyways. But not new at all. She's a beater. She just posted a beautiful wrap. Oh my God! And I have to call her out. Yes. Oh
yes, that's
my
so nice.
God. Yes. So if anyone has not seen that wrap, which would be a surprise because it was posted and everybody shared it because it was beautiful. I have to just, say like what a great job that was. The beadwork, the design, the colors, everything. It was
so nice.
Oh my God. I kept every time it was shared and posted, I still had to just freeze it and then zoom in and check it out and look at it. And oh my God, I loved it. The whole floral aesthetic of it was beautiful and yeah, I just loved it. So great job. Good job. Oh my God. I loved it. I was like, shit, I want that. And I don't even have a baby. I would just put it in my house. Yeah, it was so damn nice. And I'm just thinking of something too. I had just seen something not too long ago. How people, not people, but anybody who does art or beads, you kind of get in a funk after a while of what you're doing, your ideas or whatever. Sometimes you do feel like you're in a funk or whatever. So I don't remember who posted it, but they were just kind of tired of florals. And it made me think, I was like, I think for me, I could never get tired of florals. I just love them. I feel like that's in all of my stuff. I may do 1,000 pairs of moccasins and they're all just floral and they may all be I could probably do the same design. But there's so many different colors that you could just change it constantly. And I feel like it would still look fresh and new and all that. So I was just thinking of that, what do people get bored of or what people get tired of? Or do people get tired of seeing like that? I don't even know. If you saw somebody post something and be like, oh my God, they did a flower again. Do people really feel like that? Or, so anyways, I was thinking of that not too long ago. And when I saw her thing, I was like, oh my God, this is florals, amped up, totally done differently and beautiful, but it's still florals, and I just loved it all. But yeah, anyways, I just thought that was interesting, to be, to get sick of something. And for me, I don't think I could ever get sick of doing flowers or, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've never, what's it called? I never looked at somebody's stuff and said, oh my God, she's doing that again. There's some artists who do multiple bags or earrings or stuff like that. And I never think she's making those again. It's never crossed my mind. I'm just like, oh, they're working. Cause some people have something that works for them. They know how to do it. They execute it so well that, that's, yeah, no, I've never, maybe my own stuff. I hate this flower. Not to say, but just get tired of doing the same thing. Yeah, that maybe for myself, but never for somebody else.
I think it's because on our own, we always all critique ourselves, in that sense, oh my God, I'm doing a flower again. And, it's that kind of thing, where we probably just do it to ourselves. But it's I love seeing all that. I love seeing how people change things up, do it different. They could do the same thing 1,000 times and just the different colors make it look so much different, and new and fresh again. So I love seeing all of that. Yeah, anyways, I was just thinking of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For two people who didn't have anything in the books or anything, didn't have a pre-show talk, we were able to push out a good solid hour of chat on this podcast today.
Of chit chat. Yeah. Lovely.
Maybe the next one we'll do will maybe not. Maybe we'll be in person, but I don't know if we will.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see where the wind blows us.
Yeah. So, but you have anything else you want to share?
No, I have to go to the store. I have
oh, that's right.
I have a paint party tonight though, and it's pretty interesting because it's like a party, but they're going all out. They have decorators and stuff coming in. So
get out of town.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see
photos.
Yeah, I'll see. I don't know if because it's a private party, we'll see how they. But Yeah,
For
I
me
was kind of
anyway.
like,
No,
yeah,
for me
yeah.
to see. Well, I mean, like, actually, you should get photos for yourself. Not, yeah, you should ask them if you can take photos of the store after it's decorated prior to the people coming in, because that's another venue, an opportunity for somebody else to do something similar, and know that that's a chance.
And you
Like,
can do it.
elevate it more if you want. So yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to advertise.
I want to see how it's gonna all come together, because there's like a crew coming in to do balloons and like yeah, just all kinds of stuff. Like,
Is it for adults or kids?
No, it's a kids party. So she's
my
teen.
goodness.
She's a teen though.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see how they're gonna make it all look. Like I don't have to do anything. It's all hired and it's on like the
Sorry about
person, like the host. So yeah. So anyways, I'm excited, but I have to go back to the shop and finish up the painting, which I left till last second. Which it's pretty much done though. I did it before I came here, but final little touches, and then I do want to clean though. I'm like, they're doing this like nice big beautiful decor, and like the garbage is sitting there, and like the broom is whatever. I gotta move everything around and clean up a bit. So, but yeah, that's my afternoon. So I've
good
hit the road.
I'm gonna go back to the studio and do some woodworking on my board. So
exciting! I can't wait to see your stuff too. Oh, it's gonna be so nice.
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if anybody's out there who's ever shipped or traveled with large pieces of artwork, how did you do it? Because I might have to drive to Santa Fe if I get in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I have done it before, and it's scary as hell. You have to.
No, I mean, like, I've sent things to like non-Onkwehón.
Okay.
But I haven't sent a cradle board. Like, how do you create it? All these. Anyway, that's for a whole nother discussion. But yeah.
Bubble wrap, lots and lots, and a big ass box.
Yeah, because I've seen the shows where they throw their luggage around. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, you put,
you know what I mean?
Fragile all over it, but even that doesn't mean that they're not gonna.
Yeah, like I sent my cradle board to non-Onkwehón that time, and it cost me 300 Canadian.
Yeah,
but that was half the size of what I'm doing. So like, that's major.
Yeah, the shipping is like insane. Yeah,
I even tried to say maybe I could go on the train so it would be able to put it in there, but even the train has a limit on how big you can bring your stuff. So.
Oh my God. So you might be driving it up?
I hope not. Because then I'll probably drive back. But myself, though, unless somebody wants to meet me.
No. Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's my next dilemma. But that's only for August, so I'm not worried.
Lovely.
Because I'm not even sure if I got it.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we will find. No.
We'll sign off, everybody. Nyama for listening to the Beading Table. Have a good week. Have a good day, evening, all of that. And we'll see you again here at the Beading Table.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Iorì and its employees.